Let's head back to summer camp in 1978 for Fear Street Part 2. Let's do it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. And today we're going to talk about Fear Street Part 2, 1978. It just dropped last Friday, July 9th on Netflix. The third and final part drops this Friday on Netflix to complete the trilogy of films. And this film is once again directed by Lee Yannick. And this film is rated R. It's an hour and 49 minutes long. And this film picks up right where the last one left off. Now, to cover the actors in this movie, again, I am not familiar with any actors in this movie except for one. And that's Sadie Sink. She plays Ziggy Berman. And she is in Stranger Things. She was in Stranger Things season 2 and 3. So she was recognizable, and she is our main character in this film of the trilogy. Now, this film picks up right where the last one left off, with our characters trying to figure out how to stop this witch's curse that took over her girlfriend. And they go to Ziggy's Zolt version of Ziggy's house, and she tells the story about this summer at Camp Nightwing in 1978. And right away we're transported back to 1978. The music's from the 70s. This like the first film, this is a great 70s rock soundtrack. Very familiar songs. They must have shelled out a fortune just for music rights to use in this film. But it's well done and well placed throughout the film. And they set up more of the witch's curse and how it works in this film. They definitely fleshed that out more. And basically what happens is Ziggy's older sister, who's also at camp, her boyfriend's one of the counselors there. And the nurse tries to stab him with a knife, saying, "I can't help you," and tries to stab him. And they subdue her, and she gets taken away, probably to the 5th floor in a mental ward. But we don't see her again. But Ziggy's upset by this because the nurse was the only one at camp that was nice to her. She gets picked on a lot by the other girls, and she's always lashing out at everybody because feels kind of like the outcast. You can see that. They definitely play that up. And Sadie Sink is fantastic in this role, just like she's in Stranger Things. Actually, all the actors are really good in their roles in this film. Even though I'm not familiar with any of them, they're all very good. And the direction in this film is really good, too. They're definitely going for that summer camp slasher vibe. Definitely in the vein of Friday the 13th. There's even some musical cues in the score that feel like it could be pulled right out of a Friday the 13th score. So they're definitely playing that up. And as a matter of fact, they shot this film the exact same summer camp that they shot Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives at. And that's pretty cool. But as the film goes on, Ziggy's sister's boyfriend gets cursed. And he turns into this slasher, which we saw in the first film with the guy with the axe. That's what he becomes. And pretty quickly, he starts killing people. They find the witches... this cave with this witch's symbol in the floor, and all these signs, these markings on the wall, and all the names that are scribed in the wall are people that end up being a killer. And his name's on the wall, and then he becomes a killer. And right away he shoves an axe into one kid's face, cuts his head almost in half. This film definitely has that R-rated, hard R Friday the 13th vibe. They definitely don't hold back on the gore. At first I thought they were going to, because there's a lot of off-screen kills. They show the aftermath, but as the film goes on, they show you more and more on screen. And basically it's what it turns into, a slasher film. And a camp slasher film, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It took me back to watching Friday the 13th as a kid. I would just say the direction is a lot more flashy here than any of the Friday the 13th films, for sure. There's a lot of sweeping camera movements, whipping around the camera. I enjoyed it, no doubt, but it's definitely not as gritty as some of those slasher films from the 80s, but which is fine. I don't care about that. But they're definitely playing homage to Friday the 13th on multiple levels in this film. Like, again, they bring up the witch's curse even more. That gets developed even more, which we'll see the payoff in that of how this witch's curse came about in the third and final installment, Fear Street Part 3, 1666. And basically, it's just a stalk and slash film, and Ziggy has to try to survive and save her sister. And towards the end of the film, they figure out a way to stop the killer, but all these other killers get summoned, like the curse in the first film. And they think if they reunite the hand, they find the skeletal hand of the witch, and they think if they can find the body and reunite it with the body, the curse will stop. Well, they have a map and they think they know where the body is, but it's not there. In the first film, or 94, we found out where the body was. Well, in this film, they think it's there, but it's not. and Ziggy's sister ends up getting killed, and Ziggy gets killed, but she gets brought back to life, resuscitated, like in 1994. They call that back up, and she survives. And then once that, at the end of the film, once they're taking her away and she survives, we go back to present time, or 1994, and she's talking to them about how to stop the curse, and pretty much it leads into 1666. Overall, I definitely enjoyed this film. I don't want to give everything away. There's definitely some information I don't want to give away. If you haven't seen this yet, check it out, especially if you like the first film. I actually think this is a little better than the first film. I actually enjoyed this more. I love the summer camp setting. They definitely play up the 70s with the music, the clothing. I actually bought the kids, our 70 kids, more than I did the kids in the 90s, 94 film. But I thoroughly enjoyed this film. Is it perfect? No, but what camp slasher film is? Even my favorite Friday the 13th film is not. There's always going to be issues you can nitpick at. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It took me back to a time of sitting down with a VHS tape. That's right, kids, a VHS tape, and watching my favorite Friday the 13th film that I rented from the video store. So definitely, I would recommend checking this out, especially if you like the first one or if you're a slasher fan. This is definitely worth checking out. There are some supernatural elements and witchcraft involved that they play up, but there's a huge chunk of the film devoted to just stock and slash. So if you like those kind of films, this is a film for you. I would definitely highly recommend it. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10 for Fear Street Part 2, 1978. Yes, 8 out of 10 for Fear Street Part 2. Have you watched this yet on Netflix? Leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this video. I really would appreciate that. I'll be back next week with a review for Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, and Nobody and Fear Street Part 3, because I can't wait to see the third and final chapter. But until then, I hope you're all doing well out there, and bye.